everyone, it's me, Noah Meehan, and I'm back on making full videos once again for the Arc of Truth. And it feels very nice, especially considering that I'm on the curtail of several days ago, just getting back from Washington, D.C. Definitely an awesome trip. I highly suggest that people go around and see Washington, D.C., and even go to Virginia to see several of the Civil War battlefields. Manassas was awesome, by the way. I highly suggest you guys take a look at Manassas. But continuing on, this video is more of a response to one of 666 Hammer's videos, specifically where he mentions two states, Maine and Virginia, being potentially at play. And this is based upon the fact that Donald Trump has been leading in the official battleground states for 2024. These states, just to recap, are Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, and finally Michigan. Now, I must say something. I am not discounting Sticks, Hex, and Hammer on the possibility that Maine and Virginia will be at play. In fact, it's highly possible, and I agree with him 100% even despite the fact that Donald Trump may have a chance at flipping Virginia or Maine, maybe even both. It's still a long ways away. It's still kind of up in the air. But I would also like to argue that there is another state in play that he has not mentioned yet. And I know that I'm probably going to be hit down in the comment section down below with what I'm about to say, but I believe that Minnesota is in play. You heard that correctly. Minnesota, a state that has since that hasn't voted Republican on the presidential election since 1972. Since 1972. That is completely insane. In fact, Minnesota is one of the longest serving Democratic strongholds in this country, aside from the fact of the District of Columbia. In fact, even during the time when Ronald Reagan ran for election twice, it still went for the Democrats, despite the fact that Ronald Reagan managed to win swiftly over his Democratic opponents. Here's the thing about what's been going on. Joe Biden, admittedly, he still has a lead. But he doesn't have as much of a lead as many other people had in the past. And I'm looking at this from Real Clear Politics. In 2016, Clinton was up by 1.5. In the 2020 final results, Biden was up by 7. 7 points over Donald Trump. Now, admittedly, Donald Trump there isn't much of a strong Republican base within the state of Minnesota. In fact, much of the population is concentrated around Minneapolis. But with what's been going on, especially with many of the changes regarding the election currently, kind of shows that Biden may be slipping in power. And there's a possibility, even if it's a long shot, like with Virginia and Maine, that Minnesota could flip. Here's the thing. Here's why I say this. 1, Minnesota is home to a large population of Somali origin. They typically are Muslim, and considering the fact that there is a certain conflict in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas, well, there is definitely going to be some issue in regards to some passion in regards to that subject for that conflict. And the fact that Joe Biden has not been doing very well in regards to trying to deal with the conflict, whether it be to issue a ceasefire, such as how the left has been demanding, or trying to support Israel, which is what the right is doing, he honestly has been on a tightrope, and he continually stumbles. Although, then again, it's Joe Biden. He continually stumbles all the time. Don't believe me? Look at every time he tries to go on Air Force One. But, seriously, this one factor in Minnesota could potentially tip the balance. And potentially, I wouldn't say necessarily that many people would switch their vote for Donald Trump. Far from it. I think that a lot of people would be less enthusiastic about Joe Biden, especially again with what's been going on with the Middle East. And this is going to be there's also a few other issues which are further incentivizing that kind of action being possible. The economy is not doing as good. Inflation is rising again, and many products are increasingly expensive. And of course, with illegal immigration, which has been affecting more and more of the country. It's no longer a border states issue, even though I argue it was never just a border states issue in the first place. But I'm digressing on that point. All of these reasonings would definitely cause a lot of people to turn on Biden, either by going third party or by just not voting Democrat and staying home. Which leads me to my second point, which could potentially flip Minnesota. The fact that there are third party candidates on the ballot. And one of the major ones is, of course, Robert F. Kennedy. The fact that he still has such a major support within Minnesota is just it's kind of impressive in my honest opinion. I'm looking right here on 538 Interactive. I know not the best poll considering the fact that their sample size is smaller in comparison to Real Clear Politics, but a lot of the times Kennedy has actually, not only has he managed to take away votes from Biden, he's actually in a few polls, if Kennedy were against Biden, Kennedy would actually win. And even if Kennedy were to go against Donald Trump, and this is only for a two-way race, Kennedy would win. This suggests that Kennedy, just him alone, has a substantial presence in Minnesota. So a lot of those votes will definitely take away from Biden. And it's not, and people are going to claim that somehow it's going to be taken away from Donald Trump. Absolutely not. I don't see that happening whatsoever. Robert F. Kennedy is very much on the left. That has been unmistakable ever since he announced his campaign. Although a lot of people, I will admit that a lot of people have been feeling a little bit more suggestive of him because of some of his views, especially in regards to vaccines. And this further emphasizes the possibility that Minnesota could be flipped, especially with recent polls. And especially with recent polls being made, and both 538 polling as well as Real Clear Politics showed this. In the RCP average, Biden only leads at 2.3%. I want to make it very clear. 2.3% RCP average. And this is down from the final results in 2020, where it was Biden winning the state by 7.2 points. And the fact that a substantial third-party presence in the state I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump has a chance. Hell, in 538, with many polls on that site, one of them from McLaughlin and Associates, Donald Trump actually beats Joe Biden. One of them with 5 points, the other with 3 points, and these are very recent, from April 29th to May 1st. Now, does this guarantee that Minnesota will flip in the 2024 election? No, absolutely not. It's just only a suggestive possibility. I am not holding my breath in regards to Minnesota flipping. However, recent trends, especially what's been going on in the state of Minnesota, showed this as a major possibility. I don't think we should just focus on, say, Virginia or Maine or even the battleground states. I say we should focus more on places like Minnesota, places which have been weakened due to due to the policies of Joe Biden, as well as some problems with the Democratic Party. I mean, we have seen this in New Jersey, where 100,000 people turned out for Donald J. Trump. Although, to be fair, many of them were from Pennsylvania. But nonetheless, holy crap, does that show a lot more attention and popularity towards Donald Trump. I highly suggest that Donald Trump, maybe not all the time, definitely focus on the battleground states and maybe a little bit with Virginia and Maine, but definitely focus on the prize of the long-standing Democratic stronghold of Minnesota. My name is Noah Meehan on The Dark Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share it for friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, or any improvements I should make, please post in the comment section down below, or directly message me. Thank you.